Hello, good evening, and welcome to Probashe Bengal's talk show live. Tonight, we are really very proud to announce the name of our guest, who is the technical director of East Bengal Club and renowned football thinker of the modern world, none other than Mr. Mario Rivera. Our correspondent Prantik Basu is going to have a uh, candid discussion with the world-class football coach and obviously a mentor. So without much ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Mario Rivera. Over to you, Prantikda.
Thank you so much, Sid. Coach, a warm welcome from Probashe, Bengal.
Thank you so much. Balabasil Probashe Bengal.
Oh, superb! That's what a start. Bhalobashi Probashe, Bengal. Thank you, Coach. And we are very happy to see you after a long time. You can't imagine how much the East Bengal supporters, your team, your fellow members, everyone were missing you. And hope everything is well. How's life in Spain?
Thank you so much first to invite me. It's a big pleasure for me to talk with all of you. And long time. It's a pity, but long time this time is because the situation of COVID. The situation in Spain is not so bad. It's now it's much better, but we have some small focus with new cases of COVID-19, but it's much better than 2 months ago. Now life is not totally normal, but almost normal, and we hope that we can reduce the number of cases every day and get the normal life again.
Absolutely. We all hope that it gets over very soon, and football and footballers and the supporters, everyone together come in the ground again. So with that, we will start today's discussion session with the dugout general for East Bengal Club, Mario Rivera. Everyone, our viewers, we welcome you from Probashe East Bengal in this discussion. So feel free to ask questions. Put your questions in the comments field for our dugout general, Coach Mario, and we will definitely get your questions asked. And recently we have got football back in in a different atmosphere. It's a typical, not a typical atmosphere that we used to get. I mean, without the spectators, football back in the ground. We have seen Sarri, we have seen La Liga. So how are you enjoying that? Because we also watch it all throughout the night. How's your feeling about that experience?
This experience is new, but I think that the human have a big capacity to adapt, and we can enjoy even in this situation, and obviously it's much better if we can join physically and in Kolkata or in our city. But if we cannot do that, it's at least we can do this live meeting that are really very good, because all of the people from different cities, different countries can join and ask and talk with them, and I think it's very good. It's the first time that I did a live meeting was different, but now I think it's normal and the people is enjoying it.
Yeah, right. So coming back to our discussion about you as a coach of East Bengal Club. So we know that a lot of footballers who have been playing for the club for last 2 years, 3 years, most of them have been released by now, and because we are also trying for a new era of football, of Indian football, and but you have not been officially released. You are still with East Bengal Club. So any plans for you? How are you preparing for your assignments, and how you are mentally preparing yourself, coach?
About players, we have talked a lot with officials about many players. We had the different situation that when Quest release everyone, we have to start to build all of the squad, and we talk about the players. Fortunately, I was in India for last 2 seasons, and I knew many players, and we could discuss about players. And I think that the squad that is Bengal is preparing for the next season. The Indian players will have a very good level. We don't have but I think that everyone, all of the Indian players want to play in East Bengal, and I think that East Bengal is making a very good Indian team.
Right. So are you in touch with these East Bengal officials, and are you giving your inputs, or have you given your inputs before you left India?
Yes, we had more contact 1 month ago because it was the moment that we talk about players. Now, in the last 3-4 weeks, we have a small contacts, maybe 1 or 2 times per week, only to get information about the situation, about if Quest leave or not leave, about the NOC, about now about the sponsor, and we are in contact only to get information because still is not the moment for the coach. Now is the moment for the management to fix everything, and when everything will be fixed, will be ready, will be the moment of the coaches and players.
Absolutely, I agree with you. There have been a lot of things going on over the last 3 months, and I mean, we first had some issues with the NOC, receiving the NOC from our previous sponsor, and then now we have to look for a new sponsor, and all the works background are happening at the background simultaneously. I know it is not the right time for that asking for questions for a team's perspective or a coach perspective. That's what I wanted to know from you, that if you had given your thoughts earlier while you left. And with that context, coach, I have got a question from Mr. Gaurav Bose. He is welcoming you. He's expressed his gratitude, and he's asking you a question: that what is your opinion of the youth team of East Bengal Football Club and Indian players?
This season, last season, I didn't see too much the youth team. I wanted to watch. I remember that when they play with ATK under 19, I wanted to watch, but this day we were coming from Kerala. I think that
Yep.
we come back from Kerala, and we couldn't reach on time to see them. I watched it more than the 2 seasons ago than the last season. But I asked to some of the coaches, Indian coaches, and they said that the youth team was good. I wanted to watch them, and I wanted to bring some of the players after the league is over to watch them and to practice with them. But we didn't we didn't finish the league, and it was a pity because I'm sure that in the youth team, East Bengal have very good players.
Yeah, we hope so. We all pray for that we'll have a good side with these guys. And coach, have you ever noticed any of the ISL teams that play in the ISL league? So how much are you aware of ISL teams and who are the players they are playing? I mean, how much you are aware of the entire situation now in ISL?
Say again, because
So my
I missed the communication.
Yeah, so my question is, since East Bengal is right now preparing for a new era that I have said, and we are trying to play in the major league of Indian football, which is ISL. So
Mhm.
my question to you would be, how much are you aware of ISL teams and their strengths and weaknesses? And I mean, how they, which are those players that you need to target, and how much are you aware of that entire game?
I think that I know the ISL teams and ISL players, and I think that the difference between ISL teams and I League teams is not too big. It's a small difference. Sometimes it's because some Indian players and some foreign players. But if you if you remove two Indian players and two foreign players, if you change from ISL teams and I League teams, the level will be the same. I know ISL. I watch many matches from all of the. I think not all, but almost all of the matches of February and March until the end of the ISL, and I know them. But I think that most of the teams from ISL are changing a lot and will be very different from the last season. Some of them will keep 90% of the players, ATK and others, but other ones will change a lot. Kerala will change a lot. Goa and Mumbai with the movement of Lovera from Goa to Mumbai will move many players. Some of the teams will change.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, there would be a lot of changes. I mean, in recent past, we have seen Mohun Bagan also joining ISL, and they are merging with ATK. So ATK is already a very strong side in ISL, and they have good track records since beginning of the league. So what are your views about Mohun Bagan getting merged with ATK, and where do you see the team stands after the next year's league?
Sorry, say again.
So my question is, in recent past, we have seen Mohun Bagan also getting merged with ATK. Now we know ATK is a big side and they have good track records in ISL since beginning. So, I mean, what are your views about this merging, that Mohun Bagan and ATK will merge, and whereas the team strength of ATK was already a very good, it was very good, but now Mohun Bagan merging. How do you see ATK Mohun Bagan as a whole franchisee now?
I think that ATK is almost the same team that after joining to Mohun Bagan, they will win the funds from Mohun Bagan, and also they will get the young team, the grassroots teams, and maybe in 2-3 seasons they will have good Indian players from the youth teams. But for the first team in the ISL team, it's no different from the last season when ATK and Mohun Bagan joined. ATK had all of the players signed it, and all of the foreigners, and I think from the team players and team is not different. The difference is out of the field, because they will receive many funds now from Mohun Bagan, and also for the next 2-3 seasons that they will have maybe more Indian players, because now all of the grassroots players from Mohun Bagan joined to ATK, and both had good players in young teams, but now they have to wait for 2-3 seasons and they have to promote the young players. If they do that after 2 or 3 seasons, they will have better Indian players. But now for the next season, it's not a big difference. If we have to play with them, it's the same that if we have to play with Etika without Mohun Bagan, because for the first team, for the ISL team, it's not there isn't a difference.
Understood. So basically, the ATK team stands as it is, and they get the Mohun Bagan fans. That's what you mean, right?
Yes.
Yeah, right. So I'm just taking a step back here, and we are talking about our season in 2018, 19, 20. During that time, the first season when you came to Kolkata with Alejandro. So that season, we initially we were not doing good. Then we started playing. We started winning all the matches, and we ended on a very good note. Although we missed the title just by in one goal that we missed the title with, but that was a super season. So what is your opinion in that year? Had East Bengal been into the ISL league, what would have been the result, or where do you see that we could have ended our season with in that year if we would have played in ISL?
I think that last 2 seasons the East Bengal team was enough good to play in ISL. Maybe it's not enough to fight for the title, but I think that the last 2 seasons the team was between the four teams to play playoff. I think it's both teams in the last 2 seasons was so good, and if we played with match level opponent, we could do to increase our level. I think we had a very competitive team, and the last season I only talking about my part of the season. The last part of the season, I think that both teams were ready to play in ISL and to fight to be between the enter to the playoff. Maybe it's not enough to win the title, but I think that also if we play with ISL teams, we improve more every matches, and we should show a much better progression to the team. I think in I League is the level of all of the teams are at the same level, but in ISL is different, and you have to improve your level. I think it's a small different with the best teams from ISL.
Okay, understood. So in the next year, when you started your second innings as the head coach of East Bengal team, by the time you came to East Bengal in your second innings, East Bengal were already struggling at that time. They lost the derby. They were at the 9th position in I League in that time, and then you picked it up. So what was going on in your mind at that time? Because East Bengal were not performing. Last year they were in the top 2. This year they are at the 9th position when you are taking over. So it's a critical time. So what was going on in your mind?
Yeah, in my mind, before reach Kolkata, when I watched the matches, the last 2 matches before I joined, I could see that the team was a sad team, a very sad team, a very nervous team, without confidence. I didn't know why, and after I reached and start to to practice with the team, I could see that the players didn't have any confidence. They were very scary. They were not happy, and I think that the players need to enjoy in the practice to get the best performance of the players. After 1 week, 10 days, we change the mentality of the players, and we start to play, enjoying, and play with high intensity, improving every day. Making a family that it was another big difference. When I was the first season like assistant coach, we made a very good family, and when I reached in the last season, this family wasn't there, and we had to start again to make the family. And after 7-10 days, we start to play in a very good level, players enjoying. Increasing the level, intensity in every practice, in every matches, and I think that we could do a very good change in a team in only 44 days. I stay only for 44 days, and the last day, the day before the derby, everyone of us, and I think everyone of supporters also, we thought that we were won the derby, that the team was ready to win the last derby.
Right. So what could be the reason why do you think that we could not keep the same side? I mean, what not went well at that time, coach?
The main reason, I think, is because I think the team was maybe a little boring about the same practice, the same things, the same style of play, the same everything, and also the outside things, the fight between officials and course wasn't good for the team. But I think that everything inside and outside of the field wasn't good for the mental of the players. Players was thinking in another things, and they didn't get a good practice. And if you cannot practice good, it's impossible to play good. We miss the team miss the good feeling. If you are in a team, in a group of people, you feel if these people are happy, are joined, are feeling like a family, are living like a family or not. And I think it was the main thing. But for this main thing, many small issues outside and inside of the field.
Okay. So now that in these days we are getting, for the last few days, we are getting a very good vibe about our future plans. So I'm sure East Bengal officials are doing their best to take our club into ISL League and getting new sponsors. So if the offer comes to you to be the head coach again for East Bengal club, would you take it?
Yes, of course.
And how are you preparing yourself in order to take a call that if you have to come down to India again quickly? How are you preparing your choosing players?
I said before, I'm watching a lot of matches, and this is my job. No, for today I watch a match at 12 p.m. I have one more at 6:30 p.m. in Spanish time. At 8 p.m. another one, and 10 p.m. another one, and tomorrow again 4 or 5 matches to watch. I think in the last 2 weeks I watched it about 45 matches to watch players that maybe will be ready and maybe are the condition to come to India, to go to India is are okay, and I need to know them, because if tomorrow one of these players is ready to go to India and his Bengal is ready to sign him, we have to take this decision in very fast, and I need to know all of the players, so try to know all of them, and this is my job. It's easy because to watch football is my life, in my passion, and this is not hard to do. It's not hard for me to do that.
Right. So if I have to tell you, if I have to ask you about 3 players who were released before you took over the East Bengal team last year, who would have you retained?
Of the last team,
The last team,
the last team, 3 players.
Yeah, if 3 players from the last to last year, had they been retained, who would be those 3 players?
From the last to the last, okay. Indian or foreigner?
Whoever it is, up to you.
I think Joby Justin. I had to retain him because it's very difficult to have a good forward, good striker, good Indian striker. Also, Johnny Acosta, I think, is a very good player. That not only his level is the players that play around him will be better. Is the best. Is the best thing of him is not only his level. He also increased the level of the rest of the players, and I think the other one. Maybe Paletas queda, because also it's very difficult to find a good striker and good person, very good for the dressing room. I think these 3 players.
Yeah. So why don't you share some memories with playing with? Sharing dressing room with Johnny Acosta. He was a class. He was a star footballer, because I have seen the day. I think it was with Minerva Punjab, when Bora was out for injury, and he had to play with all junior players who he did not play a match with, and how he coordinated into that match and played as a leader, and then we ended up winning that match. So if you can share some memories with Johnny Acosta.
Yes, Johnny is the one of the important skill from of Johnny is that he always give confidence to the rest of the players. For example, in Minerva, he gave good confidence to Salam. He started to play a little nervous because he didn't play a lot of matches, but Johnny talked to them, no problem, keep calm. Was good to give confidence to all of them, but also when we used Samat instead of Chulova, Samat is very good right back to go to attack. And Johnny always said him, go, you can go. I stay here, no problem. You can go to attack. And his Samat is getting confidence from the player that has to cover him. These things are really very difficult to find in a player. And Johnny, for that, he's a very expert player, and that played 2 World Cups this is the main thing that the main difference between Johnny and another player with the same skills, but without it. Without it, this is good. He always gave to the to the rest of the players more confidence.
Okay, understood. Because whenever we saw Johnny playing, I mean, it was in the first time that we get a feel in Indian football that how calm and composed the defender should be when at the inside the box. Also, he never used to go for totally clearing the ball, but taking the ball from opponent and passing it to the right person who's waiting for the ball.
Sorry,
So that no. So I am saying that I mean, we also realize that how composed a defender should be when we saw Johnny, that not only clearing the ball from the box, but taking the ball, snatching the ball from opponent's foot, and then passing it to the right person who's waiting.
Yeah.
So one thing that coach, we have seen I mean, you can say a difference from the team that you initially started with, which is 18-19 and then 19-20. The difference between these two teams, we found to some extent the fitness was the issue for some footballers, not for all. So we know that Nodar was there. Nodar has been working very hard. So how was your experience working with Nodar, and what do you have to say about the fitness at that time for East Bengal club for those 2 years?
I think that Carlos Nodar is one of the best physical coaches that I know, and also that I work. I think his level is very, very, very good. Not only for the physical preparing to the team, also because he always work to make a family and to create a very good environment. I think that the difference between the physical state from this two seasons is about mental, because if the players are not happy, are not motivated to practice, it's very difficult to get the best physical level. It's really joint. It's very difficult when you when you have to do something. If you don't want to do it, it's very difficult that you can do it very well. And it was the main thing. I think that when we change the mentality of the players to practice, to win and to get more intensity, more. I cannot say the word in English. I cannot say, but I want to say that when you are ready to do something, you will get best level. And if you want to go to the practice because you are enjoying with the exercises, with the practice, with your teammates, with your coaching staff, you will get a high level of performance. And this is everything are joined. Everything are joined: tactical, physical, mental, external. Also, all of these things are joined. And the work of Carlos was the same in the two seasons. But the difference was that the players, for another reason, wasn't getting the same level, the same physical level.
Right. So with that, coach, we have again got another question from Super Tribes, that how's your extensive experience as a video analyst helping you in a coaching role?
Yeah, that's help a lot because I always have analyze vision about the match, but it's not. It really was before that I always had the capacity to read the match and to identify the gaps and the weakness points and everything. And after that, with this capacity, I could do the video analysis work very well. It's not video analysis help to coach. No, first I coach and I knew this part, and after that it's easy to go to work like a video analysis. If you cannot see the weakness points or the strong points from a team, you cannot be a video analyst. This is impossible.
Right. So what we have seen, you are a complete package of a football management. So you do video analysis, you do scouting, you are a coach, you can be a fitness trainer. I know. So I mean, you are a complete package of football management. As I say, that I mean, how do you see the scouting process that you are a master of? The scouting process happening in India, is it? I mean, is there anything any betterment that you see that can happen? Any suggestions from your end?
I think that a scouting process is very difficult. People think that you are going to watch a match, and after 30 minutes you know this player is the best. Maybe you can have an idea, but it can happen only one day. For example, when we signed it to Paletas Queda, I remember that every day I received the call from Alejandro that Sanjit saying that we need a striker, we have to sign a striker, and I said, yeah, I'm watching 8-10 matches every day, and maybe 200 clips of video about players, about all of the players that you are send me, but and also the players that I know. And after 1 week watching more than 30 matches and more than 1,000 clips of video, I decided to that Paletas Queda was our striker for this season. And if you review a lot of matches and a lot of clip of video, it's easy to be right. But if you only watch a YouTube clip or 3 minutes about the best action about one player in YouTube, all of the players after 5 years playing in like professional have 3 minutes of very good action. And about India, I'll tell you one thing. If India have 1,300 million people, in India have to have better players. But the problem is that no one is searching these players. But we now for example, in Europe, in the last 10-15 years, we are trying to practice like the football street, because we are looking for the imagine of the players. We don't want that the players play like robots. We play that imagine creative players, and the best thing is to play in the street. In India, all of the children are playing in the street. The problem is that now nobody can find them and pick him and put in a good grassroots or in a good academy to develop this player. But if you have 1,300 people, you have very, very talented player. But the problem is that nobody is searching them, is giving them the opportunity to find these talented players.
Right. So when you are saying that you put a lot of effort while finding, when you are saying that you put a lot of effort while finding Esqueda, so uh, did you have to convince the team management and the officials that, because when he came to East Bengal, age-wise he was already little aged than the striker that you would look for, but his skills, his class was exceptional. So how did you convince?
I convinced them because I said that I have seen 20 matches of Esqueda in the last 10 years. In the last 10 years, and most of the 200 clips of video, and this player is have the skills that we need for the team, and the best skills for Indian football. It they had some doubts because they they went to the transfer market and was no, this player last season only played 15 matches in Polsk league and only scored 3 goals. Yeah, but this player is 30 years old. He played for the national team of Mexico. He scored in many goals. He played for the best teams in Mexico. He was a champion in the under-19 World Cup. Many things. And this player, it's impossible that he forgets to score. Maybe we have to talk with him. And I called to Paleta. I remember 3 times. I called him and to talk with them. And Paleta is a very, very, very nice person. He opened very fast to talk with people. And he said me, Mario, I wasn't feel good in Polks. I was alone. I always live with my family, with my parents, with my wife. I made a mistake to live alone there, and I was sad, and it's impossible to get a good performance. And he said me, if I decide to go to India, to East Bengal, it's because my family will come with me. And that's what the first day he come with his wife and his doctor, and his father come after 1 month, and he was happy. And if a very good player like Paleta is happy, he will score, and he demonstrated it.
Absolutely. So if East Bengal plays in ISL and you are the coach, would you like Johnny and Enrique Esqueda to be in the side again?
For sure, they will be in my list. For sure, they will be in my list, and I will talk with them. And if they are ready and they are happy to come, they will be one of the option. Paleta and Johnny Acosta, of course.
Right. So we have got a very good question, Coach. So from Super Tribes, the West African strikers have been one of the most successful in I-League so far, even compared to Europeans in recent years. Will you be looking for an African striker in coming season?
I think that African players have a very good level. They are very talented players, but sometimes depends of not only about the level of the player. It's like I said before. You need to know him. You need to know that these players. That the player is good for the dressing room, is a good person, is a good teammate that will help the other teammates. It's not an egoist player. That I'm not saying that African are egoist players, but but sometimes it's difficult to know this part of the African players, and also I think some time ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, that I have watched some matches. The Indian football was very fast player, very fast play, ball to the space, very fast players, and for this type of football, African players are really good. But now, if you watch a match of ISL, for example, if you see Bengaluru always play with a wide draw in 30, 35, 40 meters. There aren't the free spaces, and without spaces, African strikers have more difficult to score. For example, in Asia, African strikers for Asia football style, not all countries, because now it's changing a lot, are very good because they are strong and they are fast. And the Asian style of play is to go very fast to attack, and if I recover the ball, I'm going very fast to attack also. But now India and other countries are changing, not only this type of football, and sometimes it's very difficult. The difference is that Europe or Mexican or this type of leagues, strikers have to play against teams that play in a wide draw close to the goalpost, and also with the space. For example, we talk about Paleta. Paleta can play to the free space, but also if you are very close to the goalpost, no problem. You have to cross in, and Paleta will score. This is the main difference, that African striker, if you play in a wide draw close to the goalpost, they have more problems, because they always play in Africa. They always play with free spaces, always.
Absolutely. With that, it reminds me two players of your squad, and both are very, they are my personal favorites. I will talk about Jaime Santos Colado and Juan Mera. So these two players have different class. So if we are playing in ISL, would you like to reconsider these two players in your side?
Yeah. Also, they will be on my list. These two players are very creative players. Jaime also, he can play in different positions, and Mera have one thing that it's very difficult to find in a player. It's the duel, the 1-to-1. He's very good in the 1-to-1. If you remember the last action in the last match in Kashmir Mar, we scored in a penalty because he made a 1-to-1, and he provoked a penalty. These players will be on my list, of course, but we don't know. But both will be in my list to consider if they are the best team or not for the next season.
Right. So while we have seen very good recruitments, and we have spoken about your recruitments on Enrique Esqueda, Johnny Acosta, Jaime Santos Colado, Juan Mera. On the other side, we have also seen Martí Crespi, Marcos de la Espada, who did not, who probably were good players, but they did not succeed as we expected them. As much we had the expectation, they did not come up to that level. So, what made you take that call for such a long time for holding those resources who were not delivering, coach?
Sorry, say again the question.
So my question is, the way Jaime Santos Colado, Juan Mera, Johnny Acosta, Enrique Esqueda, they have performed. We have not seen Marty Crespi or Marcos de la Espada performing that way. And they have consistently failed in a lot of matches, which which were probably the reasons for East Bengal not coming up to that level of high league. So what made the team management hold that decision for so long to get them released from side? Why didn't we release them earlier?
Really, I didn't know. I didn't know because you're asking me about I think before that I reached Kolkata. For me, when I reached Kolkata and after I watched some of the practice and the first match, I decided. I talked to Marty. And he wasn't concentrated to play. Marty is a very good player. He played in first division and second division in Spain. It's a very competitive player, but his mind wasn't in India, wasn't to get a good performance, and this is very difficult. And about Marcos, I don't agree totally with his performance. I think that his style of play is not much a lot with the style of the team, but in my matches when I was the coach. He played very good some of the matches, but he has a skills very focused to one style of play. And if you are not playing in this style, it's very difficult for him. But he's also a very good player, but for this type of play. The problem is that if when Bengals signed him and started the I-League, he didn't play in the good style for Marcos, and it is very difficult. The player is not comfortable with this type of player, and he's not getting a good performance. People start to talk about him. Nobody is playing to the people. Nobody support him. In the team, it's very difficult. It wasn't a good situation for Marcos. I remember I talked with him when I reached, and we try to use him when we need him, and we need to play in the style that he's good. But if you remember, he played, for example, a very good match against Trout, because we played always in the opponent half. He always played close to the box, and close to the box, he's a very good player. But if you play in the medium block and he has to run 40 meters and he has to be fast than the defenders, it's very difficult for him. The problem is that the style of play wasn't the best style of play to get the high performance of Marcos.
Okay, understood. So, Coach, we are towards the end of our discussion. I just will have two more questions, and then we will let you go for today. So, the question that we have got from Tushar Kanti Bishwas. So he's saying that you were the coach of Brunei under 21. So will you be interested for Indian youth teams like under 19 or under 21 if you get an offer? Or are you trying for it, or have you approached anyone?
Really, I'll tell you that for me, I will be a big pleasure to coach for Indian team and Indian giant. I think they have very good players, and I think that I could to do a very good, to get a very good performance. I remember when I coached Brunei under 21. Brunei never won to Thailand, and we won Thailand after 3 months practicing, and it was a nice experience for me, because when you are playing, if you are coaching for a club, it's really good, and if it's a big club like it's Bengal with big supporters, are nice. But when you coach for a country, this is amazing, and this is amazing. And if I can coach for India, that is, I don't know if the first or the second in most population country now between China and India. I don't know, but really amazing. If I think about that, I remember that when I was the assistant coach, one person said to me that Indian was in IF was looking for a coach for under 19, and I said, okay, for me it will be a pleasure. Of course, I think we can be competitive, and we can do a very good job for that. But after that, I didn't know anymore about that. I don't know if he sent my CV or not, or what happened. But for me, it will be a pleasure, of course, because I love India, and I love to coach for a country, and India is one of the biggest country. For me, it should be a pleasure.
Superb. We would also like to see you in that role, so that Indian football now gets your views and your guidance. So in ISL, is Bengal would be playing this year ISL, and they're preparing for this, as we have been saying in all throughout our discussion. So if I have to tell you that top 2 or top 3 players, Indian players, you will have to choose from different teams, who would that be? Top 3 players in your team from
Indian
different
players.
teams. Indian players.
It's I tell you, it's difficult to choose 3. For example, Pravir Das from ATK, I think is one of the best players. One of the players that I watch a lot, and I think will be a very, very good player, because really I'll tell you that I don't know the ISL, all of the ISL Indian players, or only I have seen 2 or 3 matches for team. But for example, from my league, I had choose Naurem, for example, Naurem from Mohun Bagan, now on loan from Kerala. I think he's a very good player. But for me, the best Indian player for the future, I think is Bikram. Bikram Singh is that now he will play in Mumbai. I tried to convince him to play in East Bengal, but Mumbai have much money than East Bengal. But I think he will be the best player in the future, the best Indian player in the future. He's very, very, very good for me. Very, very good. I talk also some of teams, for Spanish teams, and I said you should see this player, and maybe sign him for Spain, because this player can have the level of the 19 players in Spain. For me, it's really, really, really good, this player.
Absolutely, and we know that the 3 names that you have taken, they are really an asset for. They would be an asset for any team they would be playing for. We have no doubts. With that, coach, we will end this session with you, and it was a very good session today, and it's our pleasure we spoke to you today, and you have given us so much of time. We thank you from the core of our heart. And before signing off, if you have to say 2 words for your spectators, your East Bengal spectators who loved you, who missing you for so long.
Yes, of course. First thing, thank you so much for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to talk with you and to answer all of the questions of the fans. And I want to finish in the same way that I start selling Probashe is Bengal, and also of course Joy is Bengal.
Joy is Bengal.
Joy is
Take
Bengal.
care. Take care, coach.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Yeah, pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
With that, we end this discussion. দারুণ ডিসকাশন হলো আজকে। আমাদের ডাগআউট জেনারেল, আমাদের কোচ, আমাদের ম্যানেজার, ভিডিও অ্যানালিস্ট মারিও রিভেরার সাথে, এবং এই অসাধারণ ডিসকাশনে যারা যারা ছিলেন তাদেরকে অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ আপনাদের। আমাদের কালকের ইভেন্ট আছে, খুবই গুরুত্বপূর্ণ, সবাই দেখবেন। ভারতবর্ষের সর্বকালের অন্যতম শ্রেষ্ঠ কমেন্টেটর এবং স্পোর্টস জার্নালিস্ট নবী কপাডিয়া থাকবেন আমাদের আসরে দেবায়ন সেনের সঙ্গে। আপনারা সবাই থাকবেন, সবাই দেখবেন, কারণ কালকের সেশনটা ভারতীয় ফুটবলের প্রচুর কথা আপনারা জানতে পারবেন। তার লেখা বিখ্যাত বই আমরা জানি, বেয়ারফুট টু বুটস, আমরা সেই নিয়ে কথা বলবো। সবাই থাকবেন, অ্যান্ড ডু সাবস্ক্রাইব আর ইউটিউব চ্যানেল প্রবাসে ইস্ট বেঙ্গল। আমাদের ফেসবুক লাইভের সাথে থাকবেন আর আমাদের সাথে দেখতে থাকবেন আমাদের সমস্ত আপকামিং লাইভ সেশনস। অনেক 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 সারপ্রাইজেস আছে এখন আমাদের কিটিতে, আপনাদের কাছে এক এক করে দেব। শুভরাত্রি, ভালো থাকবেন সবাই। জয় ইস্ট বেঙ্গল।